All right, now we are back talking about Agatha. Next week is our double feature finale.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had a very good episode this week, in my opinion.
I'll be honest, it's been a long time watching a series that you had to wait for the new one to come out and being this excited for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And we have two of these
Yeah.
going on now. We have Agatha and we have Penguin. It's just amazing
And
television.
we have a double feature.
Yeah.
I'd say I had that for Loki.
Yeah, I'd agree with Jack. Loki's probably the last one.
Yeah, Loki probably also. That's true. But these have really got me excited. But overall, I think Agatha's winning out. I like them both, but Agatha's
I mean,
winning
yeah, that
out.
slow burn type thing.
And there's a lot of stuff we're missing in Agatha with just looking at the stuff at the end. You know, even the music that they're playing and such. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
So I said wrongly that Billy's mind reading powers don't work unless he gets close to somebody. But like I realized even in the episode that we were talking about, he talks to Ralph Boner and like he can read his thoughts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was wrong then. And like he does it to LIlia too.
Yeah.
I guess if we're going down the road of failed predictions, I said Patti LuPone's character would be possessed by somebody, and she really isn't.
No.
She's possessed by herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Her life just runs out of sequence.
Out of
Yes.
sequence.
her entire life was out
So
of sequence.
perfectly
It's
done.
such a
Yes.
cool
Yeah.
idea.
I told you guys weeks ago that I was not a big fan of her, but she was my
It's-
favorite witch, and she still is.
yeah, her performance in the
Yes.
show has been
I feel like
great.
we didn't even predict that it could be something like that.
No.
you know?
No.
Yeah.
How
Like
could
even
you?
just like foretelling, you know,
Yeah.
not
Right.
not just like.
But again,
fucking
that's
being
the
like
great
Dr.
writing
Manhattan,
of this
you know?
show. It's just
Yeah.
amazing, and it all
Jack
fits
brought
together.
up Loki actually has like an episode kind of based on similar
Yeah,
like, ideas.
the like Unstuck in Time,
Yeah.
Slaughterhouse 5 type.
I think in this show though they kind of took that idea and pushed it a lot further.
I would say that that out of sequence life would be so difficult to put down on paper and tell as a story.
Yeah.
They friggin' nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially at the end when she's looking back and she has to know what card to turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's literally calling it before she ever turns it
Yeah.
because she's remembering those certain points in her life. This was actually my favorite episode.
But it's
I
odd
agree.
though when she's back in time, they're not looking at tarot cards. She's looking at tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
It's
Yeah.
almost implying that she's at the beginning of tarot.
Yeah, well, I saw something where like tarot was invented in Italy
Yeah,
in like the
it most
15th
certainly
century.
was. Most certainly
So like
was.
it's pretty heavily implied that she probably created it.
I have
Yeah.
a friend that reads tarot, and so she's gone through the whole history of where it comes from, and it was definitely Italy during that time.
And I do
You
have
know?
to give myself a little star for Rio
Being death.
being deaf. I said that from the beginning. I know there was like a toss up.
We're
between
definitely
them.
not done
And
seeing
I said
Rio.
no. Just by the way, she said she needs her bodies, or she'll collect her
Yeah.
bodies.
Yeah, but look who the high priestess is now as well. She's going to be instrumental, I think, in going against.
Why do I
Rio.
know High Priestess? Is it also the name of the tarot card?
High Priestess.
There is a high priestess
I
tarot
fucking-
card.
Isn't it like
So,
the
hold on.
Adam Warlock thing?
Yes. He goes,
Yes.
It is actually the Adam Warlock thing though, because the villain guy, High Priestess. It's been stuck in my head since Guardians of the Galaxy.
I feel like it isn't that uncommon of a name though.
No,
too.
and she's a part of the tarot-y witch thing.
Also, like I feel like she's got to make it out now. You know.
Just thinking about you. Yes.
I mean, that ending though even caught me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I said, Salem 7's got her, and I didn't even think about how cool she was with that tower card, and when that whole thing flipped, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh, don't let go,
Yeah.
because she was still holding on.
But then, like, even after that, like, her whole life is out of sequence.
Yep.
Yeah.
She started like
Yeah.
right over,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
All right, let's begin. Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
So cool.
I was a little bit confused if that was like she is just reliving her life, or if it's like she's just like back here now. That is the place after.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah.
To me, it's just out of sequence.
Yeah.
So, like, even after death, like, her life is still happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
she could
different
pop back
order.
in
Yeah,
different.
I personally think she's starting over and doing it the right way because she was so
Yeah.
broken up about her coven dying, and then she pushed away other covens, and
Yeah.
that's what she needed to survive. And then she pushed away
Her power.
witchcraft and powers and wanted to be alone. But now, and even that witch that was teaching her was basically telling her, "You need this, just So maybe now she's starting her life over, and she's going to be the witch that she always wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know?
And don't forget, she was the only one presented as a good witch.
Yeah, 100%.
The
yeah.
other
That's what I
three
mean.
were
This
pretty
is
evil.
And through the whole thing, she even with the pointy hats and what do they think we are?
Yeah.
We're people, but we have this power, and it doesn't have to be that we're bad.
Yeah.
So that's why and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. You know.
So she's dead, but she's starting over.
She's
I don't think she could ever truly die.
No.
So she's just restarting.
Because that
She's just
part
starting
of her
her life.
life just
Okay.
but
can
she's going to
pop
do it
into any
differently
other.
now.
Gotcha. Okay. Because
She's always living and dying, kind
Yeah.
of.
Right, basically.
Interesting.
Well, she did say it stopped for a while.
Yeah.
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 I guess like
That's
from
what
her
she said in this
perspective at
past
least.
episode.
She was
yeah.
like, yeah, it stopped because I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was so cool, though. I'm falling.
Yeah.
But it's funny because now when you think she was crazy, she was going
wasn't,
back to
yeah.
these
Oh, my
other
God.
That was so
lives.
cool.
And the way they wove that together was just amazing.
I
Even-
think the way that they used like the concept of, you know, the non-linear storytelling and wove that into like a just character study episode
Yeah.
and also woven into the overarching story, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It was very
Pretty
impressive.
masterful.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Definitely my
excellent,
favorite
excellent
episode.
writing.
I liked the like when she was like going through her like freakouts the first time, but the second time I thought it was like a little bit like it almost like didn't fit together that well because
Right.
it was just like she switched up from like the one thing to like, you know, I think we actually are very friends now, you know. I don't know. It just felt weird to me.
I love when she realized that she shouldn't be reading his cards. She should be reading her own
Yep.
cards.
Yeah.
I'm the traveler, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we found out she was actually just jumping from one time to another,
Mm-hmm.
did we all think she was possessed? Right.
Yeah.
I did.
I
yeah.
think so, yeah. I don't think we had any idea.
And that's what I love about the writing with the show
Yeah.
is we were all led to believe she was possessed, and then
Yeah.
it's complete opposite. It's just the way they
Even
did.
like her being the one that put the sigil.
yeah,
on
it's
Billy.
masterful.
She started
Yeah.
that
masterful
whole-
fucking writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she knew
The
from the
whole
beginning.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just beautiful episode.
And honestly, like that's why I think I really love the writing of this show because it's
Yeah.
like it's subverting my expectations every time, and I kind of don't think I'd like it as much if it was so predictable.
Right,
Yeah.
correct. It's definitely not linear. You know,
Yeah.
this is where they got to go, and this is the good people and the bad people. It's just the potential is just they leave it wide open.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked the older witch telling her that she has to see, you know, she can't really control it, but like it's more about just like interpreting what you have, you know,
Right.
and like using what you have because like it is still something that you can use, you know.
Right.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
You think we see her again?
In this series, no.
I think she's dead in
Yeah.
this.
I don't know if we would see her again. I think it was a great send off to one of Marvel's like best written characters in a long
Yeah,
time.
absolutely.
so-
Hey, I got to give it to them on this show. I mean, they found the formula, and they really. I mean, this surpasses WandaVision, and I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's
You
great
know.
about this show too is like this is the Agatha show, and it's
Yeah.
like
And
I
she's actually not
fucking like
in front.
am so much more invested in like two different other characters.
Right.
100%.
You
100%.
know?
Right.
I really like all the like just like the witch personalities, you know. It really captures that well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And Billy, I went from I really like this kid's character to then a couple episodes in, I don't know this, and then like now I like him again. I mean, he was fantastic in this episode. I thought.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
There wasn't a low point. It kept you like involved in what the heck is this? What the heck is this? And then when it all came together, I was like, yeah, damn, Lupone, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Really,
definitely
nailed
was.
it.
nailed it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like when she handed him back his spell book.
Yeah.
And she's like, we're okay. You
Yeah.
know, and,
Yeah. I do like how that was like kind of a loop where like she was really only okay with him because she knew that she would be okay with him in the
Right.
future, you know?
Yeah.
So Agatha has not used her regain power yet.
right.
So do you think she will regain like any other type of power except for like what the road grants her, I guess?
Who's left? It's Agatha, the kid,
Agatha,
or the teen.
Billy, and Jen.
She might take Jen's power.
I don't think they do that to Jen
You don't think so?
again, you know, especially when we had LIlia die already.
The funny thing is, I think Jen's always had her powers, and she doesn't
Doesn't show it.
really
that's
know
even like the same thing as Lilia, right? This whole last episode was like you kind of have had your power. You know, it's just you're not using it to your
it.
advantage.
And you pushed it away, basically. You know?
And we haven't seen Aubrey in 2 episodes.
Yeah, we got that little shot of her towards the end of this one,
Right,
Where
where
she's
she's
announced
trying to
as-
collect Lilia
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
as death.
I actually like the fact that Agatha absorbs other people's powers, which kind of leads me to when Aubrey first met Agatha. She was basically just had the knife. She was trying. She wasn't like blasting her with
Yeah.
witchcraft.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that would be, you know, the reason why she knows Agatha would just maybe absorb Death's
Yeah.
powers.
Well, I mean, they kind of I don't think speak of that in that episode.
But
Something
didn't-
like something like that.
But
She's
in
like,
the
"You can't
beginning of
kill
it,
me."
didn't she
Yeah.
says "Oh, you would love me to kill you because you know that you love me to take your powers because you know it would kill me." Didn't she say that to her in the beginning? Something like that?
Yeah, something
think
like
so.
I
that.
don't think she
Yeah,
can.
maybe.
In like the
take
first or
powers.
second episode.
Well, do you think it's something where like she is like the source of one of the like power sources in Marvel, where it's like you have like the red magic, the yellow magic?
Right.
Yeah, that's,
Purple
that's
magic.
actually interesting.
She's super powerful in the
Yeah.
comics.
I
you
know.
That
It is like weird. Like she's fucking just like bumming around
Yeah.
with fucking Agatha.
right. The
Yeah.
original Green Witch, but
Yeah.
Fucking like Deadpool dates her, Thanos dates her.
Well, I was gonna say, didn't she have something to do with Thanos?
I don't
and-
think
and
she
making
is
up
the
his
original
mind
Green
and-
Witch.
Yeah,
Isn't that revealed as a lie that she killed the original Green Witch and she's just been an imposter of it all? 'Cause
Yeah.
she said
Yeah.
she, you know,
yeah, she,
I like
well,
bad boys.
I like Bad Boys is right. Yeah, even that little. So the Scarlet Witch is really dead.
Mhm.
Yes. No.
maybe.
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 I don't think she's dead,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like,
but I don't think we're
Very
gonna
up
get a
in the air.
reveal.
You don't think you're
at
gonna
the
get a
end of this.
reveal?
I don't think you're even gonna get a finding of Tommy. I think he's just gonna find out who he is,
I feel like we might get a Vision series post credit.
and that's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think Tommy's gonna come in as Vision.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea where this is gonna go next. I don't.
Now that we know that Rio's death, she can't be the Green. So who is the Green Witch?
Rio
Mrs. Hart.
Vidal.
Mrs. Hart. So
I don't even think like that. I think Mrs. Hart was a human.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she had anything to do with witchcraft. And maybe if she's still alive, it's because she didn't belong there in the first place. You know, everything around that area is supernatural. You know, and that's not a place for humans to die. So maybe
Yeah.
we think she's dead, but
Yeah.
she actually just popped back up in her garden somewhere.
Do you think they'll still have to do like a Green Witch trial?
That's
Because
I
it
think
could
maybe,
be the next two episodes are a Billy trial and a Green Witch trial.
I just think Miss Hart was so underutilized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for the actress
Yeah.
that's playing.
It
is,
It's
100%.
too quick, her death.
3
Yeah,
episodes.
I'm in agreement with that. I think she's gonna show up. again.
Yeah.
So you think she's
She's gonna
supernatural?
She's supernatural. We just don't. It
She's
hasn't
going to
been
be
shown
revealed as Madame Thanos.
Who the hell knows? She might be Mephisto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
No,
that's
yeah,
the
that
other
would-
thing.
that
We
would be
still-
hilarious.
We still don't know the whole because Mephisto's been mentioned more than once in this series. We don't know what's going on.
And
Yeah.
Mephisto would do some stupid shit
Yeah.
like that, as transform into an old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that actually. I still wouldn't be shocked if like it's then revealed to us that the road is kind of just some bullshit.
Yeah, because so we also saw in that tunnel a fucking subway system, and
Yeah,
there's
like,
just like
what is
electronics
all that
everywhere,
about?
and like yellow tubing or
Like
wiring.
who's to say Mephisto doesn't have
Yeah.
the same fucking, spell that was tricking Agatha on every witch?
Didn't the 7 come out of that subway tunnel?
They were in that tunnel for some reason.
No, it was they were coming from the tunnel and then they were like you could either take the subway and like get off the road.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it is like weird that they were in the tunnel still.
Yeah. The whole tunnel was weird like
Yeah.
electronics
It
and
almost felt like
analog
TVA stuff a bit.
Oh
you know?
yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Like maybe they still thought Kang was going to be in the play here.
And it did have. I mean, that whole episode had to do with timelines as well. So that
I was
actually is
also
pretty,
thinking
that's
it-
actually a pretty interesting.
It could be a
thing.
Doom thing, because like he does like supernatural shit like that. So like maybe he's just, I don't know, mixing tech and supernatural.
Yeah. It would be cool to get a Doom type of thing in this show.
Those yellow wires just remind me a lot of Loki.
Yeah.
Wherever they're going, to keep going. I mean,
Mhm.
I would love to see like introductions to Doom, but they don't really mention Doctor Strange. You know, like the Sorcerer
Yeah.
Supreme. They mentioned Mephisto once.
Once or twice, yeah.
You know, they're kind of doing their own thing, headed somewhere, and I'm still very happy because I'm not sure what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I feel
to-
like the sorcery is kind of a very different side than just like the witch magic. You know.
Yeah, no. I 100%
Yeah,
agree.
I mean, I went through that with you, right? There's the Eldritch magic, there's Asgardian
yeah.
magic, there's chaos magic, so everyone's got their own little niche. But eventually they all come together, whether
Yeah,
it's to fight or
Like even the Darkhold though is like a central thing amongst all forms of
Yeah.
magic.
yeah,
They all,
but they all know about
they
it.
all know
yeah.
about it, yeah.
And I have to imagine technically like the fucking Necronomicon
Yeah.
is also like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
low-key true in
you-
some
we talk about Mephisto, which to me is more the witches end of it, whereas Doctor Strange has Dormammu, I guess,
Yeah.
which is like that's the powerful
You're
being.
like Nightmare and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like more towards the
Yeah.
Doctor Strange side.
so it's kind of weird.
yeah.
I'd love the Man Thing to show up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. It would be
That would
cool.
be
You still have time, I
At the
guess.
Nexus.
That
Yeah,
would
you
be
still
cool.
have time. I don't know.
That would be friggin' awesome. I dig the fact that LIlia put the sigil on him to protect him.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, she first saw that his life was going to be fractured.
Yeah.
Right,
basically.
correct. That
And
he
he'd
wouldn't
be
know
asking
who
questions.
he is.
Yeah. Am I this? Am I that? You know.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Because, right, he was still the other kid.
Yeah.
He hadn't died yet.
Yeah.
Right? He was going
Yeah.
to.
I mean, he was William Kaplan,
Right.
and then she saw that he would
Have
become
the accident,
Yeah.
and
Billy Maximoff.
Billy would take him over. So she did good, I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, while still having to live the life of
William Kaplan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why she's the good witch.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's another.
She
point.
tried
Yeah.
anyway. She just forgot about it. But
Yeah.
then she-
Yeah.
Do you think we will see something like important with Nicholas Scratch?
Yeah, I feel like they haven't gotten to that yet. So.
I think she's very interested in finding her son.
Yeah, I don't think she's
Yeah.
going to get her powers back. I think she's going to find more about what happened to her son.
You think?
I
I
don't-
think that might be her
Yeah.
goal.
I don't think so.
That could be interesting. Yeah.
I do think she's gonna get to the end, and she's gonna have a choice of: do you want to know about your son, or do you want your powers back? And she's gonna go with her instinct of: I want my powers.
You know, comic-wise,
good-
Yeah.
Nicholas Scratch tried killing his mother to
Yeah.
get her power.
Yeah.
You know, he
He's just like his mom.
Chip
yeah, he
off the old
basically,
block.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I saw someone tweet something today where Billy still can't like fully read Agatha.
Mm-hmm.
And then even in like WandaVision, there's a point when Billy is speaking with Agatha, and he says like something like Miss Agnes is all quiet inside.
yeah,
Like
isn't that cool?
Yeah, like he can't
Mhm.
read her. He never was able to. And I wonder if it's because she's powerful enough to push him off, or because of the Nicholas Scratch stuff, she just is so filled with like, you know,
Yeah,
she's just numbed.
I think
know.
either.
That's
I
also-
think it
that's a
is
good-
probably just like she's warding him off.
That's
yeah,
a
I
good-
think she's got her defenses
It's
up.
probably just like one of the
She's
oldest
old
tricks in the
enough,
book.
powerful
Yeah.
enough, and
Although, like, why wouldn't Lilia be able to do that? You know,
What do you mean?
because I feel like Lilia is probably powerful enough to like be able to do that.
that was so cool though, because she didn't even fight it.
Yeah.
She just became part of the conversation. She knew he was reading her mind without her ever asking.
Yeah.
And she was just
Well, it did take her a bit though, which is why I think that like I don't know, there might be something more to like why like she isn't just using a spell against him.
Mhm.
Final theories on Mephisto
We gotta get a little more
Like-
with him. I don't know what
in this. You think?
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting if they mention him and then he never shows up.
I think he has to show up. It's possible he already has.
It just would be so bad if they like bait people for like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
This is where my Miss Hart theory stands. Mephisto is Miss Hart.
I don't hate that.
I don't
really
hate that
hate
either.
that.
That's,
That's
what
what-
I mean. Maybe we've already met Mephisto and
Yeah.
we don't know.
I feel like if that's true, she probably isn't gonna come back physically, and like he was just using
Oh,
Me-
right,
her
I'm-
body.
right.
you know?
A skin suit.
Yeah. I don't know. I do think it's interesting though. Like Death came out of her spot.
Yeah.
Burial.
Yeah.
I have like questions, I guess, about the character of Death, because I'm like semi familiar with her, but I mean, you seem to know her from the comics pretty well.
Yeah, she's like the reason Thanos did what he was doing to impress her. He
Yeah.
figured the more people, I can kill off half the universe. Obviously, Deadpool gets a crush on her because he can't die.
He
Yep.
wants
You know,
that.
and he wants death. She's as powerful as someone who can create life.
Yeah.
You know, and she's that kind of force that you can't kill because death has to exist.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
that
think we
makes
learned
her
that
evil
yeah,
or
but we also learned that it's not such a bad thing in this episode.
yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
it's just
Yeah.
like the Italian
Yeah.
teacher, the one that was
Yeah.
teaching her, is we all die, right?
Mhm.
You know, this is just another.
Yeah.
But
Death is what you make of it.
she's super powerful. She hasn't assisted much with anything, right? On
As
their,
far as we know, yeah.
on
Yeah.
their road travel.
Yeah.
You know, as powerful as she is, you would think that if she was really friends with Agatha and wanted
Well,
her to
Agatha
get-
knows, right? She
Yeah.
knows.
yeah,
she's done it.
Agatha
She
knows
definitely
exactly
knows.
who
Yeah.
she
Or,
is.
and
Yeah.
she did know.
Yeah.
She
Right.
did know.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least one of these episodes that's coming out, we're gonna learn fully the backstory between Agatha and Death.
Death.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's my prediction.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if we didn't.
Yeah.
Well, there's not much she can do though. Her whole point is death. She's waiting for someone to die.
She
So
she
she
doesn't
can't be-
create the death,
Yeah, she can't be that powerful.
but she knows she's there when it happens.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
literally just there
know.
for someone to die.
I mean,
Is she pretty much just like the Grim Reaper then?
yeah,
You know?
basically.
She
that's what I
kinda-
think.
at least the way that I'm interpreting it, like her existence is the existence of Death also.
Yeah. It's
So
You know
she's
what I
like,
mean?
I saw somebody say like she's like Hela's boss.
correct.
I also wanted to say another Thor thing. We actually did see mural of her, I guess, in Thor: Love and Thunder. Because she was
Death?
like one of the 4 things. So we've seen eternity and death now.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I forget who the other 2 are, but
Yeah, we'll never fucking see an eternity again.
maybe.
I miss Gore.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, great character.
eternity was just so weird because like I feel like they wanted it to look like Galactus a bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know? So I don't
mean,
know if that's
They
setting
all kind of
someone
just
up.
look celestial.
I guess
I
yeah.
think it's the issue.
And yet the Celestials look like robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows when we're ever gonna fucking see those again? I don't know if the Eternals are showing up ever again.
Ever again.
Remember that post-credit scene where Blade was there?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That whole thing is a disaster.
I wonder if like it just seems like his contract is. I think he has to give it up for Disney not to have to pay them. So yeah.
It's just getting pushed off until he's like,
Have they filmed anything or like?
I don't know.
It's 5 years, man.
Just bring
Hope they
back
film
Snipes.
something.
Bring
Well,
back
Bring back
Snipes.
Snipes. Yeah.
It's
I
delayed
agree.
indefinitely.
I know. I
Yeah.
saw that.
I feel like they
it's
were
crazy.
filming it and then like he just hated it, so they stopped.
It's insane that a fucking Blade movie with Mahershala Ali is in production hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't believe it.
I mean, it is the only movie in the whole slate where like the actor wanted to do it, and like that's how it started. You know,
I guess, but like they set it up too already.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say just pay the man.
Yeah. Pay the man and move
make
on.
the movie with.
Yeah.
I mean,
Snipes.
the
What's his
worst
name?
part though, like I said, is like they set it up in a movie that they canceled the sequel to.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the whole thing is
Yeah,
a disaster.
It's a whole shit show.
I don't. It
It
just cannot be that hard. You know, there's no way it can be that hard to just like come up with a good script.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hire us. Let us do it.
Do we have anything else to talk about with Agatha?
Maybe we push into Nicholas Scratch stuff because it does seem like she had a hand in that. I mean,
Mhm.
she is death.
Right.
Yeah.
She even said like I did something to someone that hurt
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing
Yeah.
is fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's just so weird though, cause like she's the fucking personification of death. Like I said, she's just like bumming around with Agatha.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, they had a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
That has.
I guess it's just like,
I mean,
what
like,
level of magic are
everybody
they?
fell in
the
love
thing
with that.
that was like in the comics, like she's fucking bumming around with Deadpool. At some
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like,
Thanos.
what is she like doing with Agatha? Like that.
Yeah.
Like it has to be something with Mephisto or something, you know, where it's just like that level, you know.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't think Mephisto would control death.
I don't think
I
he
think
can.
death is a totally separate entity.
But
I know.
Well,
Death
no, I'm just
knows
saying like
about
they're
Mephisto,
stealing his
but
power or something.
Yeah, that's everything is possible because death does have ambition.
Mm.
Yeah.
I guess the more bodies, the more powerful she becomes.
Yeah.
So.
Because like originally, I feel like what they were implying or like trying to get people to believe is like, oh, they sacrificed Nicholas Scratch together.
Right.
But I feel like it has to add up.
Well,
more
I
than
mean, they
that.
sacrificed him for what?
Yeah.
You know, like that's where we're gonna go. I'm thinking next
yeah.
episode.
Like what? Death? It just did that to like gain some power. You know.
yeah, I wonder.
I don't know.
Agatha probably pulls the wool over
Yeah.
her eyes at some point and promises her something that ultimately doesn't come
Mhm.
true.
Yeah. Maybe.
like she did to everybody.
Agatha gets her power by sacrificing him.
Yeah.
Whatever she's probably promised to death doesn't come true, and then this is why they split off.
So what does Billy want?
Don't know.
Billy wants to know who Billy is.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, even Agatha
You
says
think he's going to
like,
get
Billy
to the
wants
end
to
of the
find
road and
himself.
just want to know about himself?
I think it's going. Well, I think knowing who he is also finding his powers, becoming
probably finding.
finding who he
his
really
family
is.
as
And
well.
I don't know if we're going to fully see that here.
I don't know.
I think
either.
he's going to have confirmation that they're out there.
But like, what does that mean, though? You know, like, what does finding himself mean?
He's going to understand he has these powers, how to use these powers.
Mhm.
He's this kid that woke up in a hospital bed not
Yeah.
knowing who he is. And that was 3 years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
I think he knew who he is. He didn't know who the other kid was.
Yeah, yeah.
He went back and asked about.
William Kaplan.
He doesn't know that he's William.
Billy is now just in the body of William.
Yeah.
and
Right.
Doesn't. I mean, he
But
didn't
like
know shit.
it almost feels like he doesn't know anything about Billy either. You know, like
Mhm.
I'm.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is I feel like he's kind of just like a blank slate
Mm.
Yeah.
at that point. But I guess like also how like what was the time span of like Billy's life in the
Yeah.
fucking hex? You know,
Mhm.
like it could have been fucking like 12 hours or something. You know.
Yeah.
But the sigil, every time someone asked him who he was, he would say his name. If he had said the name of the boy that he took the body over,
Well, he did, and it still was blocked by the sigil.
it still was blocked?
'Cause
Was he
there-
saying William or was
when
he...
it's revealed, we get that flashback of when Agatha asks him and then says, "Say that again." He says William Kaplan, and then when she says, "Say it again," he says, "I'm Billy Maximoff."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. in itself. The sigil's just on both of them because
Yeah, I guess
like
it protected
both
both.
of them, but they are one thing because
Yeah.
I mean she
Well,
knows
technically,
she knows
did the sigil when he was
Yeah.
William Kaplan, right? He didn't.
but she like foresees that he will be
He will
fractured
become,
into
right.
two.
Okay.
So I'm curious: is Billy or the kid gay that took over?
I think they're both gay.
They're both gay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how that works.
I don't know. It is weird though.
Oh, actually, I had read a rumor that actually Billy's boyfriend is
Hulkling.
Hulkling, yeah,
Hulkling?
something
Really?
like that.
Well, I feel like that is a WandaVision type red herring because like his name's Eddie,
Right.
Hulkling is Teddy. So
Yeah.
Final things I'll say about Agatha, and this is more towards the Billy and just like Maximoff family side. It is weird to me that like Agatha is crushed under some rubble. Vision is like God knows where, and how many of them are there. Tommy is who knows where, and then like we got like fucking Ralph Boner, who's is Quicksilver, but he isn't. It is like, and like we don't even have a Magneto yet. Like it's just all over. Like that set family is fucking all over the place
Pure
right now.
chaos.
It is, and I wonder like if it ever comes full form to fruition. Like, do we have that set of characters in the universe?
Yeah. One thing I did see, though, and I'll admit to that, I saw it elsewhere, that whole Quicksilver thing, great choice of out music on the show, Time in a Bottle, and it just worked perfectly.
That was our discussion on this week's episode of Agatha, episode 7. We are happily awaiting the final 2, and we'll
Yes.
review those next week.
Good TV.
Yes, sir.
bye bye.
What, no snide remarks?
That sounded good to me.
Good.